for coming. And thank you, a particular thank you to Danielle from Vancouver Community College from VCC. Danielle's here with us to tell us more about the variety of programs. We were having a quick conversation just before the meeting began, and Danielle reminded us of the really broad variety and options at VCC for students coming out of high school, but also for those who've been out of high school for a while, and options that may be there for parents. So we really appreciate Danielle making the time for us this evening and the information she's going to provide. And I'll let you know that we are recording tonight so that we can post this on the website later. But Danielle has a lot of information. It's going to be a great opportunity to ask lots of questions. So Danielle, I'll leave it to you to take away.
Thank you so much. I will just get my screen up here and make sure everyone can see that. I'll just bump it down a bit, I think. There we go. All right, so thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name's Danielle, and I'm one of the student recruitment specialists at VCC. So if you're new to learning about our programs, or if you've been in touch with us before, welcome. And I'm happy to talk to you today about all the different program options that we have, as well as a bit of information about next steps if there's anything here that sort of catches your interest. So our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. We have 3 campuses, which I'll talk about in a moment, and I'll show you actually some videos of those campus facilities. But just to give you a bit of an overview of the types of programs that we offer, we do have over 140 different programs, and those programs range in length from 16 weeks, a 16-week certificate program, all the way through to 4-year degree programs. So whether you're looking for health sciences, our transportation trades, our hospitality programs, including baking and culinary arts, design programs, music and dance, and business. We also have high school upgrading, and our university transfer options are expanding all the time. So those are a great place to start if you're looking to maybe start out your university experience in a smaller environment, get some credits, and then transfer on to another fine institution in BC or across Canada. So I'll talk a little bit more about some individual programs as we go, but if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to focus on a little bit more, please feel free to write it in the chat. There are a lot of programs, so this is going to be pretty general tonight, but I'm happy to take as many questions as I can and kind of direct what I'm sharing based on your interests. So I'm actually just going to show you this video of our downtown campus because it kind of gives you a nice idea of what the facilities are like. Our campuses are reopened. Students are back in class for the majority of their programs. So let's take a quick look at this. We tested it, so it should be working just fine. Let's give it a go. Welcome to VCC's downtown campus. The downtown campus is adjacent to Gastown, Vancouver's oldest neighborhood, which is home to many design and tech firms, as well as some of the city's best restaurants. The downtown campus is easily accessible by SkyTrain, bus, and SeaBus. Programs include baking, culinary arts, jewelry arts, fashion design, graphic design, hairstyling and aesthetics, CAD and BIM technologies, hospitality management, early childhood education, adult special education, and more. While some portions of these programs may be administered using alternative methods, we still make hands-on training a priority. Small class sizes and innovative solutions have allowed students to return to campus safely. Our unique facilities at the downtown campus include a dental clinic, dental technology labs, full-service salon and spa, baking labs, culinary kitchens, and more. To learn more about each individual program, we encourage you to attend an online info session or make an appointment with advising services. Right, so it seems a bit weird to show a video of myself, but there are some nice shots of the campus there that give you an idea of what the facilities look like. And that was shot about a year ago. So that was still when we were, um, things were a little bit different then. But similarly now, all the hands-on training is prioritized. There may still be online portions, but any practical training that students would have received before COVID, they're getting that same amount of classroom hours. And we really were able to bring people back quite quickly because of how small the classes are. So we're always adapting to make sure that students have access to these facilities and that they're able to get that hands-on training that they need in all these different programs where it's so important. So just a quick rundown there of the programs mentioned in the video. This is where you'll come if you're interested in the culinary program, so culinary arts, baking and pastry arts. We have our labs and kitchens and restaurants and everything here downtown. If you're interested in either of those programs, it's actually a great idea to walk through campus, come check out our on-campus bakery and our different facilities. The cafeteria is staffed by students who are getting their experience in kind of a busy environment like that. But also the bakery is a good place to come for some delicious and affordable treats. And our students that produce goods for the bakery, they're really sort of taking it to the next level. They're learning about pricing and packaging, and of course, how to produce the most beautiful cookies you can imagine, but how to do 120 of them that look the same. So it really is a good idea to come visit if you are wanting to get involved in any of these programs. You can really see what the students are up to. The other programs downtown, the design programs that I mentioned, our salon and spa is open. So I'll talk a little bit more about services a little bit later on, but lots of opportunities to engage in these programs. Kind of check it out, maybe chat to some students there by taking advantage of our services before you maybe consider applying. We also downtown have our dental clinic. So we have a few different dental programs, including dental assisting, dental hygiene, dental technology, and our dental reception coordinator program. And so the dental clinic is downtown. All our other health sciences are at Broadway, which I'm going to show you right now. This downtown campus, again, very accessible by SkyTrain. Stadium would be the closest. It's about a 2-minute walk. Okay, now we got the same deal, but for the Broadway campus.
Welcome to VCC's Broadway campus. Here at Broadway, you'll find many different hands-on learning opportunities. The campus is easily accessible by public transit. Just hop on the SkyTrain or the 99B line. Programs include automotive service, automotive collision and refinishing, music, nursing and healthcare, university transfer, sign language studies, and more. While many of our programs are being administered using alternative methods, hands-on training is a priority at VCC. Students will return to campus for portions of their programs that cannot be completed online. Small classes give students the opportunity to build relationships with their instructors while allowing for physical distancing. Our unique facilities at the Broadway campus include hi-fi nursing labs, a simulated pharmacy, fully equipped automotive repair and auto body shops, and more. We encourage you to attend an online information session to learn more about each program. Hope to see you in class at VCC's Broadway campus.
All right, that's the last little Broadway video. So you probably got an idea of what some of the other health sciences facilities look like, as well as our automotive shops. And this picture that you see here on this slide, that's Building B, which has a lot of our university transfer and health science programs. The hi-fi nursing labs are set up like a simulated hospital. So I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show The Good Doctor, but they actually shoot a lot of the hospital scenes around this area because it is completely set up like that with the beds and the linens and all types of stuff. So if you are looking for any of these programs, Broadway is where you would come. Our services like advising are available at both campuses. And we do also have a program at Anasis Island, which I don't have a video for. It's just one program, but our heavy mechanical trades program is offered at the Anasis Island campus in Delta. And this is really the heart of industry. So it gives students the opportunity to kind of be immersed in that environment, similar to where they might find themselves working in the future as a heavy duty mechanic. Just a quick note about how programs are being administered. Again, those videos were shot a little bit earlier, but students are back on campus. Again, there might be small portions of the program that are online, but everybody's back for their hands-on learning, and any updates are all being communicated at this website. So it does depend on the program, and you can check out any updates on this little microsite that we've built. So in terms of services, we do offer a number of services, of course, to our current students, but also to individuals who might be looking for more information. A great place to start is advising services. Because our programs, our admission requirements are program specific, I know as many of them as possible and can probably answer some questions, but anything more detailed would need to go to advising. And it's always a good idea to meet with an advisor and just talk about the program and applying and make sure you've got all your bases covered. So they accept appointments over Zoom as well as over the phone. I don't believe they're doing them in person currently, but I'm hoping that will come back soon. And you can do drop-in or you can book an appointment with one of our advisors. If you're not sure what program you want to take, but you think maybe there's an option for you at VCC, you're trying to decide, or you just need a few more resources to help you make that decision, we also have academic counselors you can talk to. You don't need to have completed an application in order to apply, in order to book an appointment. And these counselors can chat to you about some of the program options and help you piece together your decision-making process for applying to some of our programs. For our current students, we do offer personal counseling, as well as our disability services department. So any accommodations that you might need would go through disability services. We recommend reaching out to them quite early once you've been accepted to your program, just to make sure that you've got all the tools you need to succeed in your program when it's time to start. If you're looking for financial aid, we do have a wonderful financial aid office who can help you with scholarships and bursaries, any emergency funding for something that might come up, and also support you in your application for student loans. If you're looking for a bit of help in your programs, maybe you need some tutoring, we do offer free professional tutoring at both Broadway and downtown campuses. It might be virtual currently, that's sort of changing day to day. And then our services for Indigenous students, we have gathering places at both Broadway and downtown campuses, and a wonderful team of advisors to support students as they move throughout our programs at VCC and complete their applications. So I guess I'll talk a little bit more about the culture. You'll notice that I think a lot of institutions, especially in BC, have stopped calling themselves community colleges. There's really not that many. I think there might have been one other that changed its name quite recently, but we've really kept that word in there very intentionally. And we do really aim to provide a community feel. It is quite a large college. We have about 15,000 students, but at the same time, so many of our programs are cohort-based. So that really allows students the opportunity to get to know people in their program, to get to know their instructors, and to really make the most of that hands-on training. Class sizes are a big one too, which I'm sure every college and university talks about, but we do have very small classes. We don't even really have a lecture hall like you might see in a university. There's the auditorium for the music students to perform in, but you're never going to find yourself in a first year econ class with 300 people. Our classrooms aren't even able to accommodate that many people. So average class size, I don't actually have the exact number for you currently, but our trades programs have between 18 and 24 students in a class. Some of our language programs, which are mostly in continuing studies, might have 10 students. The largest would probably be about 40 in sort of a bigger university transfer course, but it would be hopefully a size that you're quite familiar with coming from high school. In terms of tuition as well, we do have among the lowest tuition in the Lower Mainland, and coming to college first is a great way to save a little bit of money before you transfer on to university. Another good thing, I guess, about the way that some of our programs are administered is that you can do them. Some are offered part-time, not all of them, but some are offered part-time. Others you can piece together a certificate, a diploma, and then complete a degree, and you don't have to do it all at once. So an example that I like to give here is something like nursing. If you're interested in working first, you could actually ladder a few different times. So you could do a healthcare assistant program, then you could maybe work for a while, do a bridging program to practical nursing, work for a while, and then do advanced entry into our Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So some people spread it out that way. There are some challenges that come with that, of course, but it's kind of a nice way if you're looking to get a smaller credential and build on that, to kind of take your time with it. Also, our trades programs offer a lot of funding for students that want to take them. So it's really a good opportunity in the trades, especially, to be working and learning at the same time. I've talked a lot about hands-on training, but I do want to show you a few examples here. There's a couple of spa treatments in on the bottom of this slide here that I wouldn't mind getting about now. But we do offer so many different opportunities for our students to take their hands-on training to the next level. So on the left-hand side, you'll see a student, looks like they're icing a beautiful cake. It's probably for our bakery. So students, like I mentioned before, have the opportunity to learn all the different elements to running a commercial bakery, pricing and packaging and things like that. So of course they're learning these techniques, but they're also kind of learning the business side of things. At the top there, you'll see a couple of pictures of, some fine dining, looks like a fine dining experience. We have a restaurant at the downtown campus called JJ's, and it is reopening on, I believe, January 18th, so quite soon. And this restaurant is where our professional cook level 2 students do a lot of their work experience. So they learn everything about running a fine dining restaurant. They're really focusing on the whole experience. So plating and ordering and all different kinds of things. And the students will be, if you come to this restaurant, the students will be your servers. They'll be working at the bar, they'll be seating you, and of course they'll be in the kitchen. So I always say this for students that want to do culinary. If you ever have a day off of school, they do a 3-course lunch last year it was $21. It may have gone up slightly, but it's a beautiful fine dining experience, and you can chat to your server who will be a current student as well. Below those pictures, you'll see those nice spa treatments. So we do have our own salon and spa at the downtown campus as well. And it's actually the largest Green Circle salon in Canada, which is, Green Circle is a designation, and you have to achieve a certain level of recycling and reusing in order to get that designation. So they recycle everything, like the foils from your hair itself gets repurposed, and every kind of dye, every chemical gets sorted into all these little bins. So they're really preparing students to move on to their jobs in a salon, and also kind of take this attitude of hopefully being able to recycle and do this in an environmentally friendly way. This salon and spa is open to the public, so you can book services through them. They might take a little bit longer than a non-training environment, but it's a very high level of service provided, and of course our students are supervised at all times by the instructors. A few more examples here. You'll see the car painting booth. The thing below that, actually, on the bottom right-hand corner, is actually a virtual welder. And then a couple of pictures here of our dental technology, pharmacy tech, and basically everything you're learning, or the pictures that you're seeing in a textbook, you're really doing that yourself too. The automotive programs, automotive service and collision, both accept cars from everyday people. If you need some work done, if you need some body work, a paint job, they've worked on my car before. And again, it might take a little bit longer than a normal shop, but it's very affordable. And it's also a great way for students to understand that the cars they're working on are actually going to go back out into the world. They're not working on training vehicles that are going to sit in the parking lot all week. These cars are going to be driven off the lot, and they need to be safe and ready to go. So that really allows students to have the confidence in their abilities, moving on to the workplace where they're going to be working on customers' cars again. A little bit of info about our graduate success. So we did a grad survey recently, and of those that responded, 95% of these graduates were employed in their field of study. Again, this is who responded, but still a pretty high number. And there's a few reasons why we think that's maybe the case. Definitely the hands-on training provides students with a high level of success in the workplace, and kind of word of mouth about our programs. They know that the students are going to be well-trained and ready to work. We also have job placements, internship, and practicum opportunities in many of our programs. Even a short program like legal assisting, which is, I think, 5 months, that offers a 2-week placement. And some of those jobs that are in really high demand, those students are maybe going to get hired right out of that placement. So that's a great way for them to meet employers as well and kind of get their feet wet in the workplace. Our instructors are also not only great people, but also a very valuable resource for our students. Many of them still work part-time in the industries in which they teach. So they're very up to date on industry trends, who's hiring, who you want to work for, all those different types of things. And then, of course, many apprenticeships happen through our trades programs, getting students in touch with employers. So lots of reasons why our students move on to be successful in the workplace in all different types of industry. In terms of applying, so you'll see this very fun, very vague slide here with no real dates or deadlines. So our programs our admissions are rolling, which means that there is not exactly a deadline. Many of the programs have different intakes throughout the year. There are a couple of exceptions to this. Programs like dental hygiene and nursing, other programs requiring a portfolio like music or design programs do have some dates and deadlines attached, but those are, again, program specific. So the program page or the web page of each program will have all those specific dates and deadlines, but there is no overarching date and no admission requirement for everything. So it's a little bit different than a university that might have some base level requirements. These are really different, and they range from, something like nursing, which might require some university courses in addition to like all your sciences and maths and that type of thing. You also have other programs like most of the trades programs will require an English and a math 10, and then a food safe if you're doing anything involving food. So it really does depend, which might not be super helpful for you right now. But if you know the program that you want to attend, then we can get some answers for you. I mentioned the various start dates already. Some of our programs will start once a year in September. Others might start in January, May, and September. Culinary arts, I believe, still has an intake every month. So it really depends on the program that you want to do. But there is not just a traditional September start for all our programs. There's many different opportunities to come and apply to VCC. In terms of next steps, so you'll see there attend an information session. You might be wondering, what am I doing now? We do have information sessions that are program specific, and they're incredibly helpful. They are run by the instructors and department leaders of those individual programs. So they'll give a lot more in-depth information about about those programs. And some of the programs even require students to attend just so they have a really good idea of what they're applying to. Those happen all throughout the year. You can also meet with an advisor and chat about any questions that you might have regarding your admission requirements and what to expect in your program. And then you can start applying and registering at vcc.ca/apply. So some of the programs that are in our continuing studies department don't actually require an application. You can just register. Others you'll have to go through a different application process. So again, program specific, but I really recommend those info sessions. So just to give you an example here, I've put up a few of the ones that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. And most of the programs will offer them hopefully about once a month. So you can really, really chat to the people that run the program and get an idea of what your day-to-day life might be like. But you can see here, there is quite a variety of things coming up. If anybody is an international student, we do have separate advisors and recruiters for international. So they're having their own session on Thursday. I focus strictly on domestic, but can answer a few of your questions as well. So those sessions are all available on vcc.ca/info. Okay, we've got some time for questions. If anyone has any questions, I'm fine if you want to use the mic or put in the chat. Either way is good with me. Oh, good question. So are the info sessions on campus or Zoom? Right now, they are currently all on Zoom. We will have an event coming up in April. It remains to be seen how that event will be administered. Realistically, it will be on Zoom as well. But something that actually I'm working on now, it's been a bit tricky the last few months, but we are hoping to be able to bring people in for scaled back campus tours. That's not available yet, but I think what I will do is, because I run these tours, so we've just been trying to figure out what's safe. And I'll send out I think I will send out a sort of form to anybody that's interested and collect your information. And then once we've kind of got something in place, then I'll start offering campus tours again. And it's great for people to see the facilities in person. But yes, those info sessions will be on virtual. Yeah. Okay, average cost of the program. I'm seeing another question here. That's a really good question. I basically didn't provide you any numbers at all, dates, costs, anything like that. So that may be not particularly helpful, but this is program specific. So if you've got a program in mind, they're all really, really different. Some of them also depending on the length of the program. And so, yeah, if you want to put which program, if not, I can pull a couple of examples at the end from our website and just show you on the page where to find those.
Danielle, I was going to ask which programs, and if you said this and I missed it, my apologies. So music, there's a bachelor's degree. Which other bachelor degree programs are at VCC?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have yes, our bachelor's in music. So that is actually there's a diploma and a degree. So you can do the 2-year diploma, which is self-contained, and then continue on for the following 2 years to get the degree. We also have the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, which is a 3-year program, and students cannot apply directly from high school to that program. They need to have completed a number of university credits before they can apply. Those courses are offered at VCC. They're also offered elsewhere. And so that is a competitive entry program. The other degree is our hospitality management degree program. So similar to music, you can do the 2-year diploma, and then some students choose to go work for a while and then come back and complete their degree, or they can go right through to the degree program. For other students that are seeking a degree in another area, we have university transfer options in, see if I get these all, environmental studies, science, computing studies, engineering. So if you're looking for any of those areas, you can start out your first year of credits, possibly a few more than your first year at VCC. And some of those programs do have guaranteed pathways to SFU. So the computing science, if you achieve a certain GPA, the last time I think it might have been 2.75, but it may change year to year, then you would be guaranteed your admission to the software systems degree program at SFU Surrey. If you're interested in a different program, you can apply for competitive entry. It just, you'd be not have that guaranteed pathway. But a lot of students, if you're struggling in those first few classes and maybe not going to make the threshold, sometimes students reevaluate what they're interested to pursue, which is totally fine. Or else there's opportunities to apply competitive to other universities. Engineering also has this option. So students can, it may not be the same GPA, but they'll let you know when you start. And if you do achieve that GPA, then you are to SFU getting your guaranteed pathway to admission. If you're looking at UBC, then it would just all be competitive. So I actually was a transfer student. I didn't go to VCC. They didn't have as many transfer options at the time, but I did 2 years of university transfer and was able to transfer all those courses successfully. It's quite seamless, and actually BC is really well set up in the transfer system. The BC Transfer Guide, you have all that information at your fingertips about how your courses transfer, and it's a great starting point to get going at VCC.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so I might actually pull up an example here of how to find I'm just going to stop this share for 1 sec and start a new one, but I will bring it back. So how to find the tuition of each program. So I might choose culinary arts. That's quite a popular one with us. So our culinary arts professional cook 1. I'm going to do a new screen share here. There we go. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen here. So this is professional cook 1. And you'll see on each program page, it'll tell you the type of credential that you're given. So this one is a certificate. You'll see all the different start dates. So you can see, February, March. I think if you click see more, it just drops down every month because there is a new cohort that starts every month. And it's actually really cool the way that this program works because when you're in your first month, you're doing really, really basic orientation, safety, knife skills. You're chopping a lot of carrots. And then once you move on to another block, say you're making soups and stocks, you might actually take those carrots that the beginners are chopping and use them for something. So it is its own little ecosystem in culinary arts, the way that the students of different levels work together. It's really, really cool. But that's sort of besides the point. We're looking at tuition. So So here it'll say right at the top, tuition, that's 32 weeks, so that's $3,884. And it'll break it down when we get a little bit further down the page. These are full-time hours. So full-time hours for these programs mostly mean Monday to Thursday. They leave the Fridays open for students that want to work. And a lot of them will, if they're working in restaurants, they can work on Fridays and on the weekend. So it is very, very busy time if students are working as well, but they want them to have that opportunity. Class-based, so that means you're in the classroom, you're working with your fellow students and your instructor. Downtown campus, and then you'll see the start dates like every single month. There is some info here about job openings, and those tours that I showed you of the campuses. We actually have virtual tours for something like 16 of our different programs. So that gives a bit more information about the facilities and, you know, some beautiful food shots like you'll see in the thumbnail here. It'll give you a good idea of that. So that's a good overview. And then it really breaks down everything, like here, what you will learn. I'll just breeze through this a little bit. What to expect, admission requirements. So this is a good thing to look at because they are different for every program. So here you'll see, this is just a good example. Grade 10 English or equivalent, grade 10 math or VCC math assessment, and your food safe level 1. And then you'll see that it says or. So sometimes people with a lot of experience are looking to get a credential and maybe want to come and do this formalized training. So they may be able to do it through the approval of the department head, even if they don't meet these other requirements. Except for food safe, you need the food safe. So yeah, there's lots of information here about admission requirements and other exemptions, like if you've done baking and pastry, you don't have to do baking techniques. If you are, you know, if you have a meat cutter certificate, you don't need to do the butchery component. So a lot of students ask this actually. You can be a vegetarian in the program, and you can, of course, focus on that for any assignment where you have some freedom in what you're doing. But you will have to be comfortable preparing meat. You don't have to eat it, but you will have to be comfortable preparing it and working through the butchery component of the program. We'll scroll down a little bit here. It is quite in depth, but even courses, like you can see the full breakdown of courses. So this will be the same for every program that you get into. So it tells you every block that you're kind of working with here. And then the fees. So it will break down the fee, tuition here, as well as all the other on-campus fees. So you'll see this is just tuition. There's a lot of fees on top of that. We do, of course, have our really great financial aid department to help students with any questions that they have, any funding that they're inquiring about. Once these 32 weeks are complete in this program, students will then have their level 1, and if they're going to work, sometimes that involves a scholarship, and then they can come back and do their professional cook 2, which we offer at VCC as well. So that's where you'll see the students that are working in the fine dining restaurant. They are focusing on more advanced techniques. Oops, oh my gosh, I just almost left the meeting. And they'll be working in the restaurant to learn these advanced techniques as well. So that was just an example of what our program pages look like. And it will be that well broken down for each program. So yeah, again, that number can be all over the place depending on what you'd like to study. Any more questions? We'll put this up here for now. Feel free to screenshot or whatever you like to contact me. It says email is definitely the best way to reach me. Currently, I am the only recruiter, so that direct email is the best way to reach me. And I'm happy to direct any of your questions to other departments, or if I can help you myself as well, I'd love to do that. Please get in touch with me. And then just before if we can have more time for questions, I just want to show you this quickly. And put the view book in the chat. So we don't have a date yet, and we're not exactly sure what it's going to look like, but there will be some sort of open house in the spring. It's called Experience VCC, and we have all of the programs represented. So everything from, our 16-week medical device reprocessing technician program through to a 4-year program in hospitality management. And everybody in between will all be represented at that event in some way or another, either virtual or in person. But we will see. Are there any other questions I can answer for you? Oops, didn't mean to do that. Put it back.
I don't have a question, but a comment about how I'm happy to be reminded about your rolling admissions. That is just such a just so important to have more than just September, because in a young person's life, 2 months of waiting, and that's an eternity.
Yeah.
So to have so many more options monthly is amazing.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. I always like to remind people about that, because sometimes I encounter, hopefully this doesn't happen, but sometimes I encounter students who are, maybe they were going to go away and now they don't want to, or their circumstances have changed and they want to stay local, or this is hopefully rare. Sometimes, things didn't go well in the exams and then they're no longer have their offer, or they had a conditional offer or something. So there is so much flexibility and so many opportunities to not feel stuck and panicked. Like there's always somewhere to come. And that's something that I really appreciate about VCC, is that everything that we do, like we want to say yes. And if there's a requirement that students aren't meeting, a lot of the time they can do that at VCC while they're on the wait list, if there is one, or else, maybe something can be a co-requisite instead of a hard requirement. And there is the opportunity for flexibility a little bit depending on the situation. So. Any other questions?
So I was just going to let people know the recording for this session. We will put it up on the Kits Pack website. And we will make that view book available on the Kits Pack website as well. Danielle has very generously let us do both of these things. So those will be available for you to come back and look at, and let others know that if you're talking to other parents or families and they're interested in any of this, then it will be there as a starting point either way. So thank you very much, Danielle, for letting us do that. I have to ask you one more question, because I have someone else in my house who is interested in the ASL program.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's a little less formal program, or not? How does the ASL program happen to work?
So, yeah, there's a few different options. There are some more individual ASL courses that can be taken, and sometimes students attending other institutions, if it's not being offered at their institution, sometimes they can take that to fulfill a language requirement. Not everywhere, so I'd have to kind of know the exact situation, but sometimes students do that. We also have a certificate program in ASL and Deaf Studies, which that course would also be a part of. So students, if they're looking to become sign language interpreters, that could be a starting point. We don't have that full program, but Douglas College does. And but it is a great starting point for students, because it's not only ASL. It's also learning a lot about deaf culture. And actually, something that I didn't really know before I started working at VCC is really just how kind of robust that department is and all of the different things that they do. So they do, similar to university, they do research. They do all kinds of studies, and they're also in the community doing events. And then we have our sign language interpreters for students, as well as in-house interpreters for a lot of our events. So yeah, there's definitely a few different options in that area, whether that just be taking a course or kind of looking at this certificate program.
That's great. Thank you so much for answering my question on that. I realized if I didn't, that was one more on my list I needed to ask tonight. So thank you so much about that.
Yeah, no problem. I guess a couple of little updates that are programs that are new, that people may not have heard of. We have in partnership with the Vancouver Film School, we have let's see if I get this, virtual and augmented reality program. So a lot of it is done, it's sort of back and forth. I think you do your first term at VCC, and then at VFS, and then you finish up some sort of practicum at VCC. So it's an interesting partnership, and that's kind of a new bit of a niche program that we've got going on, for anybody for their own interest that wants to study languages. We've got so many languages, all different kinds of things that are in the evening. They're usually once or twice a week from like 6 to 9. So lots of opportunity for that. They may be on hold right now, but we also offer continuing studies in culinary arts, which is kind of fun. Occasionally they'll offer certificates in Asian culinary, Italian, different things like that. And then I'm trying to think what else is sort of not as well known. Oh, we have a new nail technology program, which is 4 months, and that's separate from our hair and hair design and the aesthetics program. So that's its own sort of standalone program. And I've got to get my name on the list for the students who need to practice to get my free manicure. So that's also, sometimes students are looking specifically for nail tech. There's like 1 million YouTube channels dedicated to nail art. So that is a new program just this year.
And your dance program is also a partnership, isn't it?
Yeah, so the dance diploma is through Arts Umbrella, and it's all offered at their facilities.
That's great. Now I'm just going to do one last call to everybody if there's any more questions, because we are coming up to our time. And if not, just a really big thank you, Danielle. It's been great. Thank you so much. Really informative. And thank you for showing us the website and helping us learn how to do work around that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you all to the parents and students who joined us. We really appreciate that. And if you have any questions, Danielle gave her that come to you afterward. We'll make sure Danielle's email is also available. There it is again. There'll be other contacts, I'm sure, in the view book when we post that on the KidsPAC website. So thank you all very much for taking the time to be with us this evening. It's just terrific.